it was for a higher juicy news. Mema Obibia Akwaba. I had the latest hot and one era with the Bremo. And unti se unya subscribe to channel dia bomodin share or be subscribe. There be an share or click a year the subscribe button no. Na wa barely notification no. We have a video for bia be upload no. When the first person was sa ebeka a year sa video. Afi we are na wa like video no give us a thumbs up na afi share ma wo fufuro so na when you be here na wo hu ensem dodo na ra ekoso e wo Ghana me mu hanam afi yembura ye ensem a abeto yepno so gumayinti e yes report here about to gumayinti sansemi.
I think that there is no issue, and some of these things are possible because of system no too much emotions and some people think it's easily to capitalize on these emotions and become politically relevant. And I think they fuel this kind of misinformation and disinformation campaign. Now, Captain, the funny aspect of it all is what can I say? Now, all delete politics from what is happening. Now, what can I say? Now, we have common sensical analysis. Clearly, you see,
okay. First point.
Captain, it doesn't matter where we stand across the political divide. Obiani who support cocaine, and obiani who are buying by cocaine business. Obetina TV so, and our betina baby I bought a buying number say Monkosona Munyo cocaine. It's something it's on head of everybody will speak against it. But when the situation is not like that, you don't project it for political expediency, Captain. To begin with, John Mahama Baye Otena on the 7th of January 2025. And 91 days. That is 3 months. Captain, a bang and our capture political power. Now within the first 3 months, say even though you cocaine within 3 months, and even security agencies only set it up in where then he will set in motion cocaine business. That is the first red flag that you need to understand. Because Oko police are the only person that has been changed at the IGP. Beyond that, all the security architecture, everything is in place.
Yeah.
And again, Captain, so move beyond that. Within this period, no, there has been 3 high-profile cocaine busts in this country. So Abina all your cocaine, no, Sabina Abina Nimcro for cocaine within 3 months on 3 occasions. Does it make sense? Abano cocaine or no actually for within a period of 3 months. And cocaine is no more or more in recent time, no. In recent times, Yanchi Bisa, so Bisa was in the last 80 years, no. Is this something and now costing a bit more boom when you go? Now within 3 months, no, Obi and a human are all basted. These are relevant questions you should be asking. Because for the government to confiscate your friends saying that's tons of drugs within this country, within this period, at this time, no. Clearly, the credit must go to security agencies for doing this particular thing. And then, who your positioner, you pro-feder. Said, Nipa, who are behind it, you know, they're the very people we must chase. But to conclude and say, there was suspicious flight moving in the first place, the first bust in their course, now, estimation there around 350 million, no? Captain. It was busted on the 4th of April.
That's right.
Your friend said 4th of March 2025. Plane now was according to Ntim Fordjour Doóm, no. The first plane landed on the 12th, spent 13 days and left on what 25th. But your friend said cocaine or can was no. Yet before even the flight even came into this country. Maybe that is something people are not aware before the flight came to this country. Then the second one I am made when I buy according to Felix or say your friend say omode near my buy just to assist this one to repair no came on the 20th and left on the 25th. Then the second cocaine bust was arrested your friend saying ofori the highway that was on the 2nd or 3rd of April. Captain, just even the date in as for what this particular thing now, they are highly unrelated in any way. And as Ghanaians, you know, we may be very much concerned about cocaine yachi ewo kroma say no. Na yanka aban na yenhu hawa the persons that are involved no You go after them because so obi a cocaine. It doesn't matter whether the person is NDC or MPP. All we know is that the person is a cocaine campaign, and we don't want it, and that person must be dealt with. It's as simple as that. But to try to relate it to an unrelated incident, you have no idea, but rather you are just conjecturing because in some of kinds of wood or say there was suspicious plane. Suspicious plane means you are not even sure of the plane. So plane are when you're sure, no? How do you even know the content of a woman? The one who said carry cocaine and said carry cocaine. And some of these things who put it up there, you should be factually accurate. And the Abra president show interest, you know, a hawk manager, because this is his government and they are saying, say, Abayana Banoton cocaine. Then the president on social media says, I'm also interested in this thing. And to what they are 7 Banabra. Naba provide all the necessary information I may settle this particular matter. Then you go there and say, Name Kasa on behalf of committee. Now press conference not anymore, not committee not anymore. You see, some of these childish politics, you know, I'm sure say we need to move beyond that because, Captain, I'm on fire serious. So what to initiate the geopolitical arena now, share the tensions that are going on. Now, how countries are trying to go, your friend saying, that domestic way. Now, I'm for abandoning the globalization. Now, a chance all your mind want to do near my year. A becca won't what would Donald Trump air? Flashing, your friend saying, slapping taxes on countries just like that. And the way a country in one position who ye now would do who cartoon send be more or because in recent times, yeah, AU at some point is that they blacklisted us because of money laundering. Oh, Kroma, in 2020, 2021, 2022. It got to a point that your first Ghana embassy, yeah, account our Belgium was flagged, say the money laundering. Yeah. All these things happen in this country, you understand? So you can see.
I know what boy and I can
see, before 2025. Yeah, you know, in the Akoso, you see, you can seek false equivalence. Oh, you can't buy so people will see it in a bad light. And as for say, I'm for your cocaine business under this way. Bring the fact, we will sit here and speak against it. So even President no crown cocaine, now evidence, bring it. We will chase him out of this country. You understand? Yeah. Because we will not be sitting here and be condoning anything. But why you don't have the fact, you don't have any information, you just go into the public space and misinform people, sell some of these things. At the end of the day, you've been given opportunity to appear before security agencies. You're out there talking nonsense. And then the same gentleman is moving on radio to radio, gallivanting, just attempting to say, I said our videos, sir, or be shown in as a forum. So our evidence, sir. I also feel what can I say? He's moving from one radio. Yesterday, number otchere. Maybe me one of the radio stations. In some of our see as Asabi, Annas be acquire underground investigation or video be or be show this sensationalism. No, Sabinyan your political party has lost badly. You know that your integrity is battered. You need to build that trust and confidence. But some of these things, young people in this country are very enlightened. I'm for you, say emotionally charged politics, hippie sentiment, that kind of if you want to caught the attention of people, come out with facts, relevant ones, because any reasonable person be able to we actually be able to say what be more captain because I buy no buy and already 3 months, you know. At me high profile if I say cocaine on 3 occasions. Who be say in the last 8 years na yanchi cocaine na kwa hefa. These are questions you should be asking because within a period of 3 months. Say yetimi ativia and you can't abanya our record when it comes to cocaine so the Ghana obi anim. Captain Obiani cocaine na era ebi change MV Benjamin and as for MP yetimi no a oton cocaine ye jeli ni man kodam and ntin ye yini. You see these are things we've moved past that particular thing because even if you want to do just politics people will come from the other side and they will tend to hold this whole conversation into something different. That partisan this will come in. For me, it is not necessary. We just need to look at the gains na ye make it as a country. Security agency Japan and improve for national security. They are doing a phenomenal job by arresting some of these things. And I think that is a kind of commendation that we need to give them and go after government to say we want details. Make sure you prosecute them. Ghana is doing something. But in a situation where once na asem edi what we do that kind of politics class politics for me I think say I don't expect a software to be doing some of these things. Somebody who claim Ghana for aniti okruma na manfo sua nyansa that nsori bebrebe gu okruma say nipa don't know nim nyansa. That is why a lot of people are relevant, because let me take you back to UK. Captain, na asase we su na po manya ya kanya mesuma na Lydia na ye UK
kwa sorry pa chen
Ato Forson akwachi omuku omo se Nyankopon tena asema Ato Forson beku omo ntifuri na ko eduru Sunday awu park so. You see
the youngest doesn't go to the agent.
Captain, you see tell na yet no amanfo depressed. Amanfo are emotionally, so people are just taking advantage. What I say, the last time na minute your first KKD yente we make just okwa akurasa be hu ma me bi anopa oti asoro dem we oti asoro dem anajo oti asoro dem ye meeting o didi kro be soro yakọ. When you see such people you think so osum nyame, they are not nyame no osum no. There is a deep hole down their heart. Going to church is a place I almost go to hide, just to seek refuge, because on their own they can't survive. Yeah, and probably some of these people, people will ignore them. Now I say we are a Christian. I'm a Catholic. I know you go to church. We worship God. We pray. In individual ways, but we don't front these things. You understand that? But you see, some of these things we in your mini part. Now you're out there as a public person. You need to live to inspire that trust and confidence. You don't go around throwing some of these things around. Senka obaye and now enough evidence to substantiate say indeed these are the evidence here. But what accuse you're just throwing some of these half-baked fact out there just to seek political capitals or whatever. I know the day you forget there is the image of the country and now what is on the line, because in some way there are people who might take it serious and then as a forum, and you can even say and I'm saying yachi kokemi and san awo kroma within this short period no government should be on the alert. Individuals na we probe for information. Said na menu can parliament you can call the minister to come and answer questions regarding some of these things. You can equally call for swift prosecution of this individual. Sabaya abu say omaino nim na nipa na akwachi cocaine within 3 months almost 3 or high profile way that person are working soon say the fence say does it make any sense?
It is very difficult to provide visual proof of drugs and cash.
But how do you know the quantity?
Now suspicious play now and according to him. No. How do you know that?
Chairman, but Bible or my credentials of a pastor. Who a pastor is? So for credit to my young kind. Okay, Timothy chapter 1. Now can Titus 1.
How did Timothy?
Timothy,
a pastor should be of good reputation. 1. Both within the church and outside the church.
2.
Demonstrating integrity 3. And trustworthiness. 4. And here number 1. Number 2. A pastor should exhibit emotional stability and avoid
that is emotional intelligence.
Excesses like drunkenness and violence. It's in the Bible. A credential of a pastor. A pastor. I take exception.
No, I'm saying
honorable, please.
Are you trying to fridge you?
Ntim Fordjour I knew on no monster.
Oh,
now, Captain, even this issue isn't even about say or your software and I say on your software or your software, no your politics. He has every right.
Yes.
Say, well, who's a cocaine business? Because I know because in the field, I'm on for cocaine or say so software crowd extra duty man to do some of this, and for me
it will add additional value.
Yes, I like that energy on his part, but you see you don't venture into an arena of nothing and seek to create that kind of political momentum because the party has gone into opposition. You are finding a way to revive, so they are revisiting those old playbook. Let us accuse the person, and we have people in the media who harness on some of these. So I know the day, people are not even talking about the issues. People are not interrogating the issue, but rather people are tagging John Mahama as a person, as a cocaine person. It doesn't make sense in any way. So I know that people are unable to, and the political space is such that people are emotionally charged. You see people who should know better on various social media platforms writing certain things they don't even understand. You understand? So that kind of political capital now all seeking to get out of this, that is my problem. But as an MP, or any issue now about government, he has every right to talk about it. But don't say things are winning. Now you don't conjecture. You understand? Political space and the conjecture any relevance because a man for fact check and
more man space na.
But that space has been given to him. Captain, space Ben here. Actually, the whole president will write to say you should be invited by the security. In the past, Yenya low budget can the book at Neza Okroma say Captain Smart. You know very well, say, or no on Tiokrana campus at what city walk. And some Hunun as a form. Akufo Addo Benya, I just said. Your friends say, Matidia walk on with security agencies for Enco Calibrity. It never happened.
Low budget can the book at Neza.
Low budget. Or
no budget.
Or no, I will look Nebuchadnezzar, or just a woman is in the Bible and the number. And say, but you have a president, our culture say, Matilda Okano, cocaine, me and as a president, I'm interested. And your software is good. So, President Granka says, no evidence now on go and meet security agencies and make sure say we resolve the issue. And then you are backtracking and you are in the media. Speaking as if say you have tons of evidence, hey, it doesn't make sense.
There is a one yes,
oh, you see, I think that is childish.
That's it. I put your call. Your boy, David Okwati.
But I think, sir, cocaine issues for Krumhano to say the Ivan Kayano.
But say 8 years ago, in the last 8 years,
yes, and I'm Gabby, Obia agents and Libya can't say which 8 years, no a single cocaine. 3 months, then the government in power and so on, cocaine or no Asian in crew for doesn't even make sense. As some way, said, and you also for Nebia, Obin to for Sanera Bana. On whisper to the minimum say, I didn't know the grass because Libya no believe in this thing. You understand? I said, I buy media Van Dam for the MPP on their common Jachan. So be a quaquada. And there's on the media Van Dam and on radio way on Namha. He's all over the place.
Yeah, he is.
As a Van Dam media Van Dam on their commo be
10-6.
I said, what that media Van Dam, I just said, I know almost one Casa radio station be on Kenyans as 7 so. Say, overseer say, Opassoya popular, and Uncle who Sakwadi and Satawali now or Monia new man. And that's yeah, I think that you see, Captain, we need to get serious. Now you must have man. I'm saying, say, John Mahama new government aba. So we are Ghanaian na Adian writer. You have every right because it is our duty as young people to ensure say we straighten things up and make sure say the government will do the right thing, and that should be our focus. But nema enka hono yes answer old politics na ya they say ho aba si no uni factor just shut up somewhere. What I say no. But for MP nipa amanfo mmerewafo adi lie so ahomachi akoto aba ma wo brene amuamane could you money more parliament and I think say and I'm for lose confidence in the kind of politics that we do here in leadership. What I say, we must begin to put premium on the power among for the mile. Not nipa in 2 million because president amount that particular opportunity. Hey, amount that go and meet them. Then you see say your friends saying I can't collaborate. But then make say when you omuti when your president or ye cool kakra then ka okonya emu binuma kasa amre bi anko nam togo nwuram ho afena owura boda no
asore na oye pastor Reverend asore ben
patcho minim
onko na sorry that
I said we're expelling from the church
na sa on asore ne there
I said members in asore it's a fact. It is a fact. Immediately, no. Now, asare spelling of you until the investigation is done. No one's no truffle. Then just answer and answer our dear business and what drink for you, or dad or what Jomus Gedi. Tell someone to answer him because it's not credible.
Some of these things are very serious, because the international communities, when some of these allegations are the number of way or model best subject you through the
you come also for beer or castle Emma can upon the castle and cover finance want to be that. The person was already yes. I'm on Crawford Johnny Finance want because empty.
Investor confidence is key, and Captain,
it's a major problem, it's a major issue, and I think that is what he's doing. Or person you be like credibility. Say I could be for any bilateral agreement. I don't want GND. So that on make us say, oh, I ban one when they are not getting international support. Then you will run the state down for your own interest. The second power there.
When I say Kruma grow and so. Drama, and the media and also too much fixation on sensational issues as be and give prominence to some of these things because baby about dream me free say you idea you see new government aba and a man for has said near man share be go akwan be man for abrabo asesa the reasons why Ghana for call about talk to abano that should be the driving focus of Obieko. Okay. Amana yetimi so wo position wo government you obia ho kwan say ade e koso na nya ya what about betudwa. But asamana wo ba betudwa no say wo ho nyina so ene na sefo a sa na ye no but samra honorable Ntim Fordjour e sha ase a na all kasa anse me ba bia na mete wo ye Ghana ni o evidence no kire say but it got to a point that some no can boma now any logical analysis be a maybe shada hunyansa be a to begin with. I felt say it was just mere political propaganda because what can some say suspicious plane one who say Kwabena Agyapong you have every right to seek answers from our bank. So but who say plane me and son you need to explain to her what is going on, but to link it to a cocaine bust cocaine, the first one I'm watching, and do you know so much on the 4th of March? Yeah. Plain or can the first one arrive here on the 12th? So you see, say there is a huge gap. By being and again, second one was arrested on the 3rd of April after 2 waiting in city on the 25th because both plain city on the 25th. So those connections are not there. So my question is, Abayaba, within 3 months, they've been able to arrest 3 high-profile cocaine issues. For me, that is a credit because in the last 8 years, but such profile and for government to be able to make such high-profile arrests, it shows that the security agencies are doing something different. And for me, that is credit. As an opposition and as an MP, you can pro further by asking the minister and as a national security say we want to know who are involved, what step government is taking to ensure that we prosecute these people. To me as save what I say, but to spin the whole thing and make it look like or some evidence connected to the fact that abayano sina ya chino any plane na buy na say cocaine plane na so cocaine ba na nyansa ba na wom say when na cocaine business obeso agu plane mu e dey fa airport say obi mama just nyansa bi anim but enam say media no your fixation and obsession with sensationalism and na ade are interested in tea. So I was scanning through all the media space and nobody is talking about ECG containers either. Nobody is talking about Haduboah here. They want your friends work for $7 million and then as a forum. All the issues in here and all the media houses otchere. And for me, what I'm trying to me person me who say Ntim Fordjour Doóm your friends a government outlet in Adiaba. Media and who is doing an independent verification to be able to put certain value on the seven or can say no cry and say no cray and jagum and away you wait 2 man away at one but I dare you would have finished the economy and Ghana reputation is on the line. Go ahead at Trump as America and they are no domestication or globalization or attraction and do your mind I want to do near my say near money foul we are And again, Abra president say those allegations on social media not sure say or no ankasa interested in these allegations. NT MP we saw evidence collaborate with security agencies. Obi a want some high profile evidence indeed a linking government play na eba kobano cocaine and not more than I will be willing enough to cooperate and say these are my facts. Security for young collaborating in that particular investigation. Sure. But you decline that call and say I was speaking on behalf of a committee, but the information here very damning. So you have every right to cooperate with security agencies. Situated this whole thing in a contest, but it does appear he's much interested in the political propaganda now. So all the time you see him on radio station, moving from TV to TV, granting evidence. And as no can what any logical analysis be any value beyond the political capital now or seek to harness out of this. For me, it's unfortunate, and you cannot blame him. National security for never blame you because Abra president the car said among collaborating at that point, whatever it takes be they just to secure him, just to ensure say all kind. But what the damage has been done. Ghana's reputation, everything. Now they've gone to a point of writing to diplomatic communities and so forth. Now the tentacles of this particular cocaine saga has been widened, has been blown wide, making it look like somebody has been arrested. Yet hey, obien who obloka cocaine. We have to say defend. So NDC now, who cares? So MPP no. Obian found. All we know say. Okay, the idea obien who also. And this we MP now we also for now evidence. You know, credible watchidom. Evidence now on Fabra na yen nyina nhwehwem e bana se Kwaku Annan bana so ye NDC or MPP no ye cocaine. But to go to the extent of mentioning names, because in the press conference in the one of his interviews say NDC MPB and nearman there. Now some evidence actually say obi a cocaine no near. Why don't you go to the security agencies? So I think that national security should up their game because omo na kan ho na masade we yababedu. But the very moment President Kase on collaborated, the following day they should have secured him. Just to ensure that whichever way he collaborate with them beyond or more, but you liberate the person walking on the street. What can you all can you know something you know what can and then the media non sophistication on propaganda now I take it the center stage and then it will be a driver an issue no by the sad aspect of it is nobody is looking at the issues so they are looking at maybe any panigina across the political divide or NDC near the opinion or MPP the opinion and the media no see the medal. For them to do proper inquisition into the issues and know say these are the real facts because I know personal tracking planner. It's so easy to even do it online. There are apps and then as a forum. If you want information, you can cross check with this med because a company Juma now Obia order the flights here or the carinipa now what just say or the swap cocaine. I saw a statement almost. They are ready to collaborate with whichever security agencies we are ready to do the investigation. So why this out there wide blown political propaganda and as a forum? So I think can who be national security and because they left the thing open. And on 7 o'clock, we were kind of because me, I met her. Some metana me tassing 7 one after the other. My analysis. I'm a question. They say, Abayamba. Within 3 months. High profile cocaine bust a tray. And it's a binding a cocaine, watching home. It doesn't even make sense. And again, cocaine enterprise in a very complex way. A ring, a syndicate, no more pretty. For 3 months, are binding their banner. You can't set a cocaine operation in motion. It's not possible. It will take a lot of time, logistic planning, connection, and those things to be able. Unless you are telling me, say, Abrana or more opposition, they were doing it already. Because there is no reasonable person. How about this? When the 3 months are started cocaine operation, and we are able to connect from Spain to whichever country, and we are in operation. It doesn't make sense. You understand? These are pertinent questions. How you expect people to do and Americano, we all have our right to make opinion and so forth, but make sure say you will be situated the whole thing in the context as be some reason and one who's a even though you're politics, but America. But if you ask all the critical questions, you are not getting it. All of a sudden the gentleman has become like a hero and the media we friend. Nobody Nobody net say independent verification. Nobody is asking all the critical questions. And I hear the political agenda near Namurubi to Gum. And I also know say emotional politics and I hear. Nipano, no harm or Hamijana, Hanamijana, will think on a linear line. Or be a expanded. We don't ask the critical question. So for me, I think the security agencies to understand they are doing something right by making sure say all these high profile arrests have been made. And the video be a Japan and include for quiet some operation be. If it's a fake dollars and no more can I say so it's also all over. Baby cry how Bawumia to try all these things were going on. You can't tell me say within these 3 months and you could try as can. It's not possible. It means that this criminal syndicate has been in operation in this country for so many years, but we couldn't bust them. So Obiabana within this short period, he has been able to arrest these people. They deserve credit. Where lies this political propaganda in the media whatsoever? For me, I think that this thing is much ado about nothing. You see, it's the old playbook that people are trying to revisit. Assembly Young Kangum, and then all the political parties have their surrogate in the media. And that is what they are doing. They are spend doctors, by a spend amount. That is why nobody is asking all these critical questions. You understand? So I think that a deliberate attempt just to skew the whole political narrative. Because time has come, the expectation is say, we need to hold them accountable. But all of a sudden, the narrative has changed. We are talking about cocaine when there is nothing like cocaine in this country. Arrest in Ukraine should be a credit, not bastardization. Except, may I buy my check cocaine? And why do you bastardize me? What about the last 8 years now? Cocaine, which means that the business has been in operation. You understand? So I think that media sometimes your fixation and obsession with this sensational way, we are hurting ourselves because maybe free will be a baby Ghana for us and in some year present here we should not be thinking that we are presenting news to some gullible folks we are to make informed choices. Who can't say na man for be a critical question, but nipa no omo allege no that the same people we are following, and we know since some no more can inquit. They are just series of intellectual gaps. Omokasa, the intellectual gaps no more live in their awakening. It's so astonishing, and the media are supposed to tackle all these intellectual weaknesses no more live, but we are making them look like heroes. And I am celebrating a man for a Kwabena arrest your Kwaku drama. A more press conference in Nasa forum and a whole lot of media for the camera and for the otchere. National security they have a lot to do for me because I think could do because when the president said that particular statement the following day that guy should have been picked up just to help them in case arrest. Now you have investigation or you situate in some now can read the say now when we are able to connect the dots now who's a value woman then we know what to do. Value nima. That is a woman to charge you when you deliberately peddle falsehood with malicious intent. Because disinformation and misinformation campaign at this time it's not something anybody should tolerate. You understand? So I think government must make it a business just to ensure we clamp down on this surging enterprises of fake news and propaganda now. Very often, the consequences are very hurting. We keep quietly allows our way. So I think we need to weave interventions to address some of these things. And the political propaganda is becoming too much.
And because of that, for so many, I want to say security issues in Ibu. What's the the last time I catch you be say within 8 years, information be no. You can see the Nina trouble and Kenya Papa. But some of the issues when you hear it, you give it to the appropriate quarters, then you keep quiet. Making sure they don't work on it. What you say? And now, my chat cry between the airline operators and Ghana Airport Company. There was a chat between team now, Wamuwa Ghana, and the woman no more bano, and letting them the problem now play anyone. And now the chat in to TV. We need to go beyond certain things. Because if Nipanum prove now some go soon from memoir, then it will force us to bring the evidence out. Meanwhile, these things are national security issues.
Nipa no can adwene say or can you be, but our minor reputation I was said because in recent time AU for blacklisted here for money laundering whole lot of time. Ghana embassy your friend is saying your account and now Belgium at some point in time was flagged for money laundering activity whole lot of stuff. It doesn't matter which political party is or power. It the reputation. We are gonna know to about Kwabena. Niama rube from Nunya de Ketwa. It's not.
Yes, can only a year we say Ghana.
Yes. So for me, I think that political way not also. We need to focus na you who the na government should up in the communication way na some of the things how to tackle and how to address some of these things. You know, I think that can be na man managing some Kwaku baby. We need to just situate this whole thing na young kebe the surgeon and
okay, I'm in so. And run as okay. Oh, I don't want to see a free sympathizers. Me who see my command no Facebook. Everybody move. Now I don't want movie be.
Oh, before I may can who asem no me den chia kese be ma motif for me chia wan kasa na me den chia so ma motif for na ma chia me nya be me say we dey me first time we share ni right.
I who from afar.
Oh be see me tin from afar. Say ye nyina ye ntumi nko Honorable Ntim Fordjour Doóm because the issue you see here intia sebia man for ko ni fie no I think it has to do.
There is no single constitutional provision in your constitution we ma HSA yentimi nchi MP na mmumu ko article 117 and offspring some immunity on them.
Yeah.
So in the exercise or discharge of their duties, you know, and especially when Parliament is in session, I want to mention, but that way is interpreted to me that when he's on his way, Parliament is in session because he's going to join the session, and when he's exiting, Parliament is also in session. But we what is our name away from MP ne unity for biaboni team kuna unti say MP. What has happened American? So I immunity no protect you more in the discharge of their duty. Sunday with you fear now what the born you can be arrested. There is no law that says a MP cannot be. And that's a parliament will be in session next day and you will not be available. All you have to do is to notify speaker say Abrantania chain Saturday into Wahuna or custody. So I think that way we just have to collate. And again, you see in some now suspicious plane circulating is different. Cocaine that has been arrested is different. Me MP no buy now focusing on the cocaine. Ya check cocaine within 3 months. Ye gidi yambisa buying questions meaning the issue because obia or kwine. But two distant issues which are not connected in any way. Trying as much as you can to connect the two, no, and then that is what is creating this whole thing. And for me, that is why I blame the security. Say that connection or try to connect, you know, and uncle probe for that particular way, but to fill the gap with the misinformation as a form, no. I think I'm going forward. I also think say national security, you know, we need to your friend say because in recent times I think say I don't think national security is an intelligent organization because it's supposed to be an intelligent organization. But that is not what they're supposed to do. You work with intelligence, raw information, you process and translate into something valuable. There are other security agencies that should take upon themselves these things. For instance, this arrest warrant omoko procure about saying warrant and some kind of social media. Now one can one kabatame me fear say akwaje warrant abechime na me me fear mo abechime. You see, I think we need to look at our security agencies as well. Okay,
na ma ya de chichere ya no ade ya kan wasem mo so mo kwa mo so mo di bia chichere ma no mo eno na ya de
say obeshi obi o krumi ya no she quote na we bonatazo national team. We are funny people, yeah.
Yo, it is for Winnie and someone about beto. Yapuno so Mikao say so when you subscribe to channel idea, Bomodia say over subscribe. Now, while like if you don't give us a thumbs up, Nafi share my wofufro so that when you be here now and someone ekoso ewo Ghana memoir. Also betimi atchere wadwen afaye some way nyina ho ewo comment box no mo beti menkabi in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.